Hi, welcome to my tube. My name's Marge. I'm a yoke empath. I just like having these little talks and the way I feel about things. Boy, people will be tripping, man. People are tripping. You ready for the whatnot? Holy hell, Armageddon. Ready for it? You ready? Been prepping? Been getting, you know, where you can. Oh, I got a pimple. Holy heck, that's a doozy. Huh. I rarely get them on my neck. That's interesting. I wonder what that means. I'll have to look it up. Always had questions. Mom, what's this? As long as I can remember. Mom, what do you think about this? Mom, what do you think about that? I don't know. Go look it up. So I always had to look stuff up. Encyclopedias, phone books. There was a time when I was a little girl, you could call the operator and ask him questions about stuff. Call the operator. Ask the operator. It was like whatever. It was like whatever. Go away, kid. You bug me. I was so inquisitive. I was the kid that bombarded people with questions. What do you think? Because the all knowing, just spirit wants to know. Just came in as a spiritual being, and I was never real comfortable in my soul sack. What's this? I was always real clumsy. It always, my grab would be too short, or just always, learning lessons about physics and what not to do. Let me be an example of what not to do in life. Nah, I do alright. That's how you learn lessons. They're not mistakes. Nothing's a mistake. It's all life lessons of what to do. Keep doing that, what not to do. I had a pretty good day. Had a nice conversation with a nice lady at a real estate office. Sometimes you talk to people and it just makes you feel better. And there's the synchronicities were on point. In the office where it was located, it's right across the street from Manzanita Avenue, where I spent third, fourth, and the first couple weeks of sixth grade. So fourth, fifth, and the first month of sixth grade. And I went to Rother. And so I used to just ride my bike all over behind those buildings and go dumpster diving and stuff. You know, there's a there's a there's a there's a vacuum cleaner repair across the street. They'd throw the coolest stuff away because I'd make gadgets and like imagine like being a spy and all this stuff, and get smart and just this futuristic stuff because being at home was no fun. Mom always just would rather hang out with her boyfriends, and she didn't want she didn't want me around much anyway, so I just always would out and then I'd go walk around. Not only at that, I'd ride my bike behind all these buildings and stuff like that, because it's like there's like behind the streets and under the streets, there's whole worlds that people don't even know about. It's a lot of fun. I used to run around the tunnels and stuff like that all over the place. Get out here, kids. People have little stash places with booby traps and stuff like that. It's a pretty fun time to grow up. It's not as fun to grow up now. It'll be again once this stuff settles down. People are just going a little crazy. So I got to ask them, like, so is the humor shop still there? Because I used to freaking escape over there and just imagine, like, using this, like, seeing the stuff, the funny stuff on the shelf, and then imagine using it. Always imagining a world better than what my current situation was in. And now I made a pretty good life for myself in my current situation, but the astrology says it's time to go home, so I'm going back to where I was 20 years ago, and the energies are pretty much alignment because I got the same energy that had to give me the get up to go for me to have to leave that place. And now I'm in the chapter in my life, the incarnation, that I get to go home with all the wisdom that I learned when I went out in the world, and I get to bring that back to the community and help build it, because all hell is about to break loose. There ain't an astrologer that is sugarcoating nothing. You can't at this point. You can't sugarcoat anything. It's the new world. There's too many people with guns and too many people with guns that shouldn't have guns, that maybe they should have guns. I'm seeing the gun discipline. Oh my God, it's ridiculous. People should not even unholster their weapon. They should not even be unholstering their weapon unless they think they're going to use it. And if, with all the people I see in the media, it's getting dangerous out there, man. Like, it's getting dangerous. Like, all those years when I was a little kid and they talked about people that were paranoid, that were all, oh, you're just a shut in. Hey, Twippy Flippy Flirly Twirls. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. I love when the birds come visit. Well, now it's like, people said that too much. And so now the reality of the situation is people are so disgruntled and they're so hurt and they're so broke down and they're so wounded inside. And they're so desperate to find peace and serenity that they're freaking matching the calamity that they feel inside with to their outsides, and so all hell's gonna break loose. It's gonna be hard to watch. It's gonna get straight up gross. A lot of stuff that people saw in the movies, gave them ideas. Now they're gonna start acting out because there's, most law is law because people have the the where it all, the discipline, the humanity in them, that you don't hurt people and you don't harm people. But there's so many people that are so hurt that they don't got the resistance, they don't got the ability, the physical capability, because they don't have the tools to know how to restrain themselves. So people that don't know how to restrain themselves, is going to be a lot of violence hitting the street in the next few weeks. Or actually, we're August, September is kind of a chill zone, and then October is when it's supposed to really freaking. So why not move in the midst of Armageddon? Maybe when we're driving past Mount Shasta, it will be erupting. Who knows? Because everything, we manifest what happens, and so many people have seen so many storylines, like watching TV and just imagine, what if this happened, what if that happened, and if enough people do it, and they're all of the same vibrational frequency, if they all believe in a storyline, they're going to make it real. If enough people believe in Santa Claus is going to be real. How's that for gaslighting your children? How's that for the number one lie of the world? Come to the world and they give you some bullshit about Santa Claus? Are they still gonna do that this year? Are you still gonna try and perpetuate that bullshit? Crows are coming in. When I was talking to the lady, there was a synchronicity. I was talking to the nice lady at the property management place. I don't know what I'm doing. I at least need guidance. I'm a dummy when it comes to this shit. Earthly 3D stuff. I don't know what I'm doing. It's like when I always got scared. Like when I was in school, I always had to go to new schools. I'd always find the lunch lady was always nice. Always liked the lunch lady. A lot of the Marge heart space, or like the library, or like the custodian. He knew the in and outs of the joint too. Just always find the elders. So anyway, I was talking to the one lady today, and a deer walked by. Nice young buck walked by, and I was like, oh, right when, and she's like, that's what it's like when I live. She's like, I have to drive into town 2 times a week, but as soon as I hit the mountain, and it's the energy shift, you feel that from I know that shift, I know that, what she's talking about. She's like, and then I start decompressing. I'm like, that's exactly why I want to come home. So I need to decompress from just being out in the earth in the last 20 years. And then, and it's nice and familiar for Mom, too. God, I hope this is smooth for her. I'm just going to keep her loaded up on ice cream until after the move. That's all I can do, because she is so darn sensitive. I got to keep myself chill so she stays chill. And then when we were wrapping up the conversation, I didn't catch her name, so I asked her name, and she said her name was Lori. I smiled real big, and I was like, well, I think everything will be, or I was thinking, I think everything will be alright. And I told her, I'm like, well, I'll be damned, that's my mom's name. Well, it's Loretta, but she goes by Lori. Depends on who she meets and how official she feels like. Sometimes some people are Loretta. You can call me Loretta. So when she's in a mood, I address her as Loretta. Well, yes, ma'am. I'm on it, Retta. Whatever you say. But most she's Ma. Ma! Hey, Ma! Ma! What do you want to eat? You want this kind, or this kind? I always got to give her options, man. She's always got to get options. Just as long as she gets to choose, she's happy. Doesn't matter what her choices are. I've been showing her, hey mom, you want to live in a place like this? You want to live in a place like that? We got to dream big, mom. We got to get closer to the girls, my nieces, because they're down in Sac. You know, so they might need a place to bug out when freaking things get really. Nah, they'll be fine. Things will be fine, but things are really gonna get really ugly. Because I think what's happening, what started happening in all the federal buildings, people are gonna spread that out to all their cities and all their states, and they're gonna hopefully figure out that people don't want that system, and that system's broke, and that where we go one, we go all. We're all connected. And that people want a different earth. People want a more natural. We want to be able to, grow fruit and vegetables in the streets and on the side of the street for everybody. There's enough for everybody without anybody regulating or putting their toxic poisons, their pesticides on it. I mean, it's all that regulation and control. I mean, that's what the whole world's been about, is making money in that system. And there's no spirit in that. And I'm gonna try and help teach people how to treat elders, and how children really should learn, because they have the capacity for so much more. They should need to be out working in the gardens too, learning how to work the land, and how the plants grow, and how to feed the earth, and to give the earth proper nutrients in order to make the plants grow proper. And then so when you eat it, it makes you strong. So things are changing. It's just there's so many people that are gonna be freaked out about shit, because they're just gonna be like, what? Just, if you don't want to see bad stuff happen, don't put it in your freaking mind right now. Keep it out of your mind right now. Just don't think about bad stuff. It's like in that movie Raiders of the Lost Ark. Don't open your eyes. Now that the freaking vein of light is going through the arc of all the greedy people, all the no vibers that opted for money over spiritual things, and money, property, prestige, that, all these people that took all the property, and then jacked all the prices, and then people can't afford to live in these buildings. So as a result, they have no alternative but to live in the streets and the alleys and watch, like, people that think they're really important take up a lot of space for a lot. It's like a smack in the face. I mean, it's really insulting to really see how wide the cracks of society. All the while, the Democratic and the Republican conventions are going on, and while freaking hundreds, thousands of people in Oregon are standing in line for checks for $500 that they went through 70,000 in 3 days, that people are that desperate. They're doing it wrong, and the people that all the civilians are losing their temper, and they're losing their cool. In Oregon going back in and out of session, that shit don't do nothing. What the fuck do we? I mean, yeah, it's about the. I talked about it 3 years ago about how they were gonna impede the idea of, or impose. They were gonna start the dialogue of election tampering, that was going to be a main theme from here on out, because as soon as you impose a threat that there's an outside, then people, their ideas will, depending on their heart space, they're going to follow their own ant hole. I say ant hole, not instead of rabbit hole, because ant holes are far more intricate than a rabbit hole is just a hole. But I get the whole entire, I get it, but it's just in the spirit of accuracy, ant holes are way freaking cooler, man. So what people are they're, regardless of what kind of fucking hole, people are, they're waking up to the idea of the Matrix, and that we're all just been fed bullshit, and the people that have been freaking, I've been calling bullshit for years and years, or their karma's coming back. Maybe someone will get hung in the streets. Who knows? I was thinking of son and daughters. Isn't that what I called today's talk? Sons and daughters? Ready for the whatnot? No, I didn't. I called it sons and then daughters. Oh, hello, folks in the talkie room. I try not to look because I get so I get so preoccupied. So sons and then daughters, because I came from an environment. My dad was the youngest of three. He was the baby boy, the son. You know, how many people are related to someone that's the son? My brother was one of those because he came from one. So, you know, actually, they were born in the same 19-room hospital in Atascadero, which means mud hole, from what I understand in Espanol, if that says anything. I was born way down south San Bernardino on the 34th parallel. They're up a little higher. So they're way more in alignment. They're masculine energy, but I'm masculine energy too. Sometimes more than them. Well, maybe not more, but I'm definitely more balanced in my feminine and masculine, because everybody has masculine and feminine in them. They just don't rectify with their dominant sometimes, like I didn't. I think I'm more feminine than masculine, and I had a hard time with that. Oh, but I'm more masculine than feminine in my astrological charts as far as energy is concerned. But as far as like, because I'm not like by heart, you know, it's funny. I was thinking about it because I've been painting mom's nails, and I painted my toenails today orange. They crappy because they look like day 5 on day 20 on 20 minute or hour and a half out there. I didn't do a very good job because it's just that clumpy stuff, and I was doing it in the sun, and it was hot, warm directly in the sun. So as soon as I on the nail, it was clumping. So I was like, I went with it, and then I don't know. I'm not gonna be in any foot parades anytime soon. That's for sure. But sons and daughters. So you know, it was always, you know, and then I think about, I know how it's not related, but I think about how the sun is the center of the solar system, and how many people have made sons in their family the center of the solar system, and that how boys will be boys, and you know, that's just being in the how I used to, when I was a little girl, I never wanted to be a man. I thought it would be cool to be able to pee standing up, but I always thought men were kind of hairy and fuzzy and just kind of, they always like, you know, like freaking farting, and then if they stunk, that it was fun, and I just shit I didn't get, you know, and just whatever, you know. So I just, and then girls were just always did like nails and stuff like that, and I didn't want to do that stuff like that until later. But when I was a little girl, I just wanted to ride my bike and play with birds and go, you know, be in nature and watch the frogs and the polywogs evolve to frogs and just learn about evolution. Oh, when this time of year this starts to happen, and this time of year when, you know, this starts to happen, and how it all lines up. And then they threw me into school and shit got sour. But so we, you know, we kind of live in a society that's built where, you know, this patriarchal. And then I looked at daughters. Okay, so son, you know, it's not spelled the same as the son, but a lot of times, oh, my boy. I mean, oh, I know my parents were divorced when I was born. I found that out a couple years ago. That was a tower moment for me. I was a parting gift. I was their parting gift. They got divorced, and then I don't know what the circumstances were. It's always been hush hush. It's always been weird. It's always been quiet. Family secrets. Everybody has them. I've picked out a lot of them, you know. But whatever. Some secrets aren't mine to tell. I forget that. I gotta remember that. I gotta try and remember that more. Um, so I didn't get a lot of the same advantages as boys, and my brother and stuff like that. And then I had a sister, and she, you know, I guess my dad learned the lessons of the advantage of being too hard on a girl, so he went the other way with my sister. She's 10 years younger. He was at a different place in his life. He had learned his lessons, so she got the advantages of that. Yay them. So, but I looked up daughter, and daughter, came from daughter, a female child. This is what we get. A child or person in relation to her parents, any female descendant, a person related as if by the ties binding daughter to parent, daughter of the church, anything personified as female and considered with respect to its origin. Here's the colon. The United States is the daughter of the 13 colonies. So are we obliterating the idea of the 13 colonies? Because I would love to do that, because I'm pretty sure that actually the patriarchal, the matriarchal, the whole monarchy is crumbling down. So It's all that paradigm, all that control system is all falling down. It's all, the whole economic system is crashing, and then being rebuilt right under everybody's noses. But the first or the last stretch that's going to happen is freaking all hell's going to, because everybody's just mad. And it's not just their anger for this incarnation, it's their anger for their ancestors, rage of their ancestors, because you carry your ancestors, everything your ancestors know. When they take your last breath, then they take their last breath, all that knowledge goes out into the solar system, and if you vibe like them and act like them and are in attunement and alignment and stay consistent in that alignment with them, you are just gonna, like osmosis, just breathe in everything they know and everything that they've all, everybody that you've been in frequency alignment with for all time. And that could be, people you don't necessarily look like. Carl Jung for me, Edgar Cayce, Dolores Cannon, you know, Albert, all the dreamers, the thinkers. I'm not really a mathematician. I mean, I don't really want to go down the numbers patterned game, because I could get stuck there, and I got too many places and other things I'd rather do. But I mean, I get lots of people have a beautiful mind, and I can interpret a lot of people's beautiful mind. But a lot of people, there's so many systems that have been made so people could just get rich, and money is just a made up paradigm. I was reminded and started watching it again, because back in when Netflix was just DVDs, I remember in like 2007, 2008, I was in college. 2006. Is it the cat or mom trying to get out? Somewhere around there. Back when Netflix was just DVDs, it wasn't all online, and you could order them online. They'd see you a DVD. What the blip we know. I saw that back in like 2007. It came out in 2006, but I didn't see it right when it came out. I was late to the show because I was in college. But it's on YouTube. I sent it to I sent it to Aaron and Ahmad, as a matter of fact. Are they in the chat? Yeah, hi guys. I sent it to both of them. Hello, hello. Yeah, guns are. I like target practice, and I don't like the noise, and I don't like the killing that people do with them. It's just. But their trigger discipline is just pathetic. It's just disgusting. Well, I mean, how are they going to be disciplined in their trigger? I mean, look at them. They all just hate themselves. They have to. They have to. You grew up in Los Osos? I went to Sunnyside there. 6th grade was a hard year for me. Started at Rother and Reading. Car broke down in Visalia. We didn't go to school. I didn't go to school for 7-8 weeks. This is the year my brother decided he wanted his freshman year. He wanted to go live with his dad. My mom didn't want to be him that far from him. Her baby boy, her son and all. So I didn't go to. So Rother didn't go to school for 7 weeks till the car got fixed. Then went to Sunnyside in Los Osos, and then was there for a month or two. That's where we watched the space shuttle. One of them re-entry, and then on the hillside there, that was pretty cool. And then we moved to Paso Robles, where I went to Flamson. That was hard, because that school had like 21. That had like 19. I had a lot of kids, 6th, 7th, and 8th. You had to dress out. In PE, I failed because I was like, dude, I don't want to freaking shower in front of these girls. No, that ain't cool. So I just took an F, because I just didn't want to undress and shower in front of the girls. It wasn't right. So I didn't think it was okay. So I took an F. I took an F a couple times for PE. For that. Just because, no, you can give me a stupid grade. I'm not going to do what you want me to do. I won't do it. It's not right. People shouldn't be doing that together. It should be, let them go home and do it. Anyway, and then ended up in Deer Creek in 6th grade. at the end of the 6th grade year. So 6th grade, I was 12. That was my 12, 13 year. And then it was and then I got to go to see my grandparents in Arizona that year. So, or I get to fly in an airplane. So I get on a little plane in Redding, and then it was supposed to go to San Francisco, but it got diverted to Arcata, Eureka, because a plane there had a flat tire, so we had empty seats, so we were going to go over there. And then, so by the time we ended up in San Francisco, I'd missed my connection flight to Tucson, or Phoenix. Phoenix, I think it was that time. And then, so I had to go up to the window, all, scared. Oh, I missed my flight. I don't know what to do. Oh, okay. Well, and then they put me in a room and I watched freaking Shirley Temple movies for like an hour and a half, couple hours. It seemed like for a while. And then I went to then caught my flight, then went on to Pine Top, Arizona. So, hiccups happen in life. You just, lucky for me, I've had so many happen that it's just like when they happen, I get through them. But the thing of it is like the older I get, I'm finding is the older I get, when they happen, it's like I get through them. But then it's the after that I'm like, man, that was tough, Yeah, we're almost to Libra season. We're almost to Libra season. I'm really excited for that. Yeah, Los Osos. I've been thinking a lot about that recently. Los Osos, that Montana de Oro. Aaron knows my father, uncle, and dad all climbed to the Morro Rock back in the 70s, 60s. My dad would walk from Atascadero to Morro Bay. Just kick it, And then he went on to be a merchant marine or some shit. I don't know. Yeah, the Hessicks have been in Atascadero since back when the phones, you plugged them in the operator plugged them in the wall system. Ah, So how long have I been running my mouth? Haven't had much to eat today. So it's kind of balancing out. Things are just really balancing out right now for a lot of people. That's the cool part about the clock of astrology is every season is here to shake something up in you, to make sure that you've been working on something, And now we're we're in Virgo season, 2 degrees Virgo. Michael, Peace Dealer, I love his interpretations and stuff. And I was like, I came in from being outside, from painting my nails, and I was in the sun when I did that. And I came inside and I grabbed Mom's hand and I touched my hand. She's like, oh, your hands are so hot. And I'm like, hey Mom, let's do the lighter thing. Because we all have it. I just do it. And Mom, because I get it from Mom, I put it on her hand. I put it on her hand like this, on her pinky, and she has much smaller pinkies. And then I do this for my friends. I can do it all over I do it for people in public. And a lot of times people are like, oh. And I put it in Mom's hand. And because when I first discovered it a couple years ago, because we were just screwing around, I saw a video where a kid did it with a coconut, and I'm like, well, this is the same principle. It's the fluid inside that you're cooperating with. And when you can actually feel the liquid inside, it's pretty trippy. When I do my Heyoka World Tour, I'll do it for some folks. But I can do it with Mom. I was like, hey Mom, maybe you could come outside and I could use your hand and do the lighter trick thing. And she's like, oh, well, it's a good thing you painted my nails. Mom, we can't have you looking raggedy. if I'm looking out for you, Mom, I can't have you looking like that. There's times, like, because my hair, when I get it wet and I take off my band, I mean, my hair does all kinds of crazy things, and I don't really look in mirrors much when I'm in the house. I see myself more here, and then, maybe a reflection or something here and there, but, and sometimes I'll, like, my hair will be all kinds of wonk, all kinds of crazy, and I'll be like, Ma, and I'll get a glimpse of me, I'll come back in, I'll be like, Ma, you want me going out like that, Ma? That's okay. That's okay for me to look in your book that I go out and I'm like, this is my mom let me go out like this. Mom, you gotta help me check myself, Mom. I don't always catch everything. I can't be looking like I'm a clown, but I can't be looking like a freaking joker, like a dunce. Like the not cool kind of clown. So, big shifts are happening. People are changing their looks so dramatically, so fast. Some people are de-aging. De-aging, that's the talk that who did I listen to? There's gonna be de-aging. I've been listening to a lot of good astrologer talks. Here's some pretty cool clouds that I got today. Angel clouds, little wispies. When I was at the laundromat, like this guy, we're working out. We're about the same age. Actually, he's probably older than I am, but he is. And his workouts are like 10 minutes. To piggyback on Don't Drink the Kool-Aid's video, I talked about the 21-minute, 45-second Martin talk they did yesterday about Disney and all the demonic shit that they have in Masonic 33-degree Mason stuff that they have. There was a patch on the bottom. Where is it? On this slide, the 21-24 mark, and it has in the bottom here on this slide, it has something in Latin. And when I talked about it yesterday, I hadn't looked up what the Latin meaning was, but I did. It's Deus Mimius Just. It's God in my right. God in my right. So, and I'm not saying every freaking Mason. I think there's good things and good people in every organization. I just think that there's secrets and darkness in every organization that are there, and they're there, and that people can definitely benefit of. But people have the free will and the choice to pick up and use those tools, dark tools of deviation. See, because for every dark tool of deviation, there's a congruent light tool. A light tool. But it's what you do with it. Are you manipulating people? Are you cheating people? Are you using it to get money? Or are you using your gifts and your abilities in order to make the world better in your community? I'm not trying to save the world ever. I ain't probably ever going to see the whole entire world, so I ain't never going to see, I'm not trying to do that. What I'm trying to do is wherever I live, to create a community that's better than it was before I got there. I just want to try to make something a little bit better than it was before I got there. So, I don't always succeed. I'm a human being. I'm a spiritual being having a human experience. Still, I'm a human being, and I only can do so much with my soul sack. But I'll just keep trying to show up every day with my best heart intention, and try not to freaking sweet talk people and manipulate people and just, be another one of those. To just say things just to get people to be in your advantage. And right now I just need some goodness and kindness from true-hearted people. So I'm putting my best heart forward so that I can meet those people. And I think that if I hang on to that, then I'll probably get alignment with people like that. So I just got food. It just makes me want to eat some lasagna. I'm kind of hungry, so with that, I think I'll wrap it up and go in and treat myself to a little bit of, It's another one. One of my the house that I was looking at, it's off the market. It happens. What are you gonna do? That's why, it's like it's why so many people are freaking out right now because of the one idea of how they thought the world was, how Earth is. It ain't that way. So if you have one idea, one concept, though, this is how the world is, and there's no other way around it, and you know those are the people who are going to have a hard time right now. Not us that have the idea of a possibility for, anything could happen. Not us dreamers. We're kind of excited right now because things for a lot of people have been real hard the last few years, and things are about to get real good for a lot of people, and things are about to get really challenging. It depend on if you cleaned up the wreckage of your past, or if you're gonna, in this big huge shift that everybody's going through, or are you gonna walk away and try and leave things better than you found it, or are you gonna freaking burn down the bridge, blow up the freaking the the sides, and decimate everything and take everybody and everything around you out with you. We all have personal freedom. One just brings you closer to the high vibrational frequency, highest, which is love, as I understand it, and the other one brings you down to the no vibrational frequency, where you gain karma, and then you just gotta freaking live incarnation after incarnation after incarnation to freaking just to learn not to be a freaking dick, and not to be a pervy skank, and not to be, you know, don't be, going after people for the wrong reasons and controlling stuff and all that stuff. There ain't no place for that in the 5D, 6D, 7, 8, 9D Earth, and we're supposed to create heaven on Earth. It's our role is to protect the Earth, is to make sure the Earth ascends in comfort, you know, and we've been a hindrance on her, like all, the 13 daughters of the colony. If the states are the daughters of the 13 colonies, you freaking raped or you freaking prostituted and let your daughters get raped, and you sex traded your human trafficked all your daughters for too long for profit, and now all the karma for years and years from boys just being boys and burning off steam, and people just doing things for business and all that shit. There ain't no spirit in that. Now there's going to be hell to pay. Hope you have a rad evening. Peace.